She survived every major Pacific battle without being seriously damaged. But hey, how does she hold up in the Tier VIII matchmaking in World of Warships? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Normal Guy of the North here. We're now in update 14.7, and before we even hit 14.8, which will kick off the big 10th anniversary event with premium ships dropping into the hands of anyone with an account over 8 years old, even less actually, we've already have something really special. Right now, running through the In the Name of Tomorrow missions and operations, you can unlock the Tier VIII Premium American Light Cruiser, the San Diego, completely free, including her captain, a 10-point captain. I just got that recently. So today, let's sit down and take a closer look at the ship, dive into her real-world history, which is fascinating, then break down her quirks, features, and whether or not she's worth the grind. I'm also going to break down, based on the actual the current mission, Tokyo Express, I'm going to break down my build and whatnot, and things that'll help you out like I do for an overview. Okay, before we talk about the in-game ship, let's spend a moment on the real ship. The USS San Diego CL-53 was an Atlanta light class cruiser commissioned in the United States in January 1942. That was the early stages of World War II, right after Pearl Harbor. She was named after the city of San Diego, California. Quick tidbit, because I've been there lots of times to that naval station. There's a bar there called Kansas City Barbecue, and if you guys ever watched the original Top Gun from 1986, the bar scene, yeah, they had to clean that bar up. That place is amazing. I've been there lots of times. Best ribs in town. Now, she would go on to become one of the most decorated ships in the entire war. She was armed with a main battery of 16 dual-purpose 5-inch 38 caliber guns. Her role was primarily anti-aircraft escort, protecting the fast carrier task force that became the backbone of the Pacific War in World War II. Over the course of her services, she earned, get a load of this, 18 battle stars, making her the second most decorated U.S. warship of the conflict. Just a bit of facts, can you guys tell me down in the comments who is the number one? San Diego saw action in nearly every major Pacific campaign, from Guadalcanal to the Battle of the Philippine Sea, Leyte Gulf, Okinawa, and all the way up to the final operations against Japan. She was the first Allied warship to steam into Tokyo Bay after the Japanese surrender, symbolizing both her toughness and her importance to the fleet. Despite heavy combat, San Diego survived the war without ever being seriously damaged. She was decommissioned in 1946, placed in reserves, and ultimately sold for scrap in 1960. For a relatively small cruiser, her record was remarkable. She was everywhere, she fought everything, and she built a reputation as lucky, hard-working ship that just always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. So that's the real history, a decorated, battle-tested, anti-aircraft warhorse that never let her cruise down. Let's compare that to what you got in World of Warships. Okay, right now in 14.7, San Diego is the prize for grinding through the special operations, including her captain. And if you already own her, the missions will instead give you 11,000 doubloons for free. That's a no-brainer reward either way. But if you don't already have her, what exactly are you getting? Well, San Diego in game is the Atlanta-class cruiser, up-tiered to Tier VIII, and comes with some, big differences compared to her sister ships, the Atlanta and the Flint. Flint's a great boat. First, she is tankier. Instead of the paper-thin 13mm plating on her sisters, she gets 19mm plating, and, critically, a heel, which is fantastic at that tier. That's huge at Tier VIII, especially for light cruisers. It doesn't make her a tank, but it gives you some breathing room when you're inevitably going to get focused. Her main selling point is her battery of 16 127mm dual-purpose guns, or 5-inch, now firing not HE shells, but SAP. These SAP rounds can punch through 36mm of armor, meaning you can threaten destroyers, light cruisers, and even extremities of battleships, like superstructure. Add in a reload booster that drops her reload rate to just above 3 seconds for a full 15 seconds, and suddenly you're spitting out salvos like a mini Austin at Tier VIII. That makes her absolutely brutal in the destroyer hunting role. Pop that reload booster when a DD gets lit in the cap, and you can shred them in seconds, forcing them either out of position or outright deleting them. And if your team secures caps, you're already on the road to victory in a game. She doesn't have HE, so farming down angled battleships isn't really her game. Instead, you're looking to bully destroyers, push light cruisers around, and make superstructures bleed. Now, on the utility side, she is definitely very American. She carries Hydroacoustic Search, which is excellent, and defensive A-fire in separate slots, meaning she's a strong anti-DD cruiser and an amazing strong anti-air platform, all at once. In fact, her AA suite is above average for any tier 8 in the game. And in the right game, you can swat down wave after wave of planes. And yes, she has torpedoes. They're a short range, only 4.5 kilometers, but a nice little last-ditch weapon and something that when you get close to. For instance, taking out the Musashi in Tokyo Express. I just did that last night, so I'm just saying. Alright, so let's do the San Diego build. This is now built for me for the Operation Tokyo Express. You could also leave this for co-op mode. You could leave it for operations and flagship operations you can get away with. I don't think it's actually overall a bad build based on the captain skills for randoms, but you guys can judge what you want to do. So for me, I always take main armor modification. Now, I have extended the Hydro because Hydro is very good for fighting torpedoes, and in Tokyo Express, it's Japanese destroyers, and there are walls upon walls. There's some points in the game where you could literally walk on the torpedoes and not get your feet wet. Now, I do take main armor modification. I mean, you could up your torpedoes or, if you want some AA guns, but this seems to be the best right now for all battle modes. Of course, I do the actual propulsion wow, that's a really hard word today. Propulsion modification, because I want to be able to juke and jab as much as possible. And I actually do concealment, because that's the best thing. I don't disagree with some of the people in the community, but sometimes I've had to go dark with this boat and hide in a couple of people and get some heals back, so to speak, because I made some boo-boos. Now, straight up, she has a damage control party. It's 5-second duration lasts. You get it every minute. You got 4 heals. 4 heals in this boat is absolutely fantastic. Now, you do get Hydroacoustic Search. You got 3.5 kilometers for torpedoes, 5 for ships. This is great for all the smoke these destroyers put themselves in. Now, her defensive A, as I said before, is actually quite good. So use this a lot. You actually want the extra charges. And, of course, you got a main battery reload booster. Who doesn't want that? It reduces your reload time by 33.3%. Here's the flags I take. And I'm going to go into my Leroy Jenkins. You got to say it that way. I got 2 of his captains. They're great. So I put them on this one. And by the way, I do actually have the captain of San Diego, as I think I mentioned before. So I do actually have it now. But I'm leaving Leroy Jenkins. So I do, for actually at the top here, I do take Consumable Specialist. It gets all of my consumables up 7.5% quicker. Y'all are going to want them in this Tokyo Express. I do take Last Stand because you're going to get damaged like a destroyer, and you have things that just need to work. If you lose steering gears in this operation, you lose something like that, you're dead. Lone Gun knows that too from his video. Now, consumable enhancements, I do take this to get the extra 10% of my Hydro. It's important to me. I have decided to take heavy HE, and I know it's HE, but heavy SAP. It gives me over 2,000 damage, so an extra 180% damage, 180 hit point of damage. I do take Adrenaline Rush because you all going to get damaged. You want to do a heck of a lot more Daka fast. Now, I do take on this boat, Superintendent. It gives me everything, including defensive AA. That's what you want to say. I do take a Concealment Expert. I would take that even in randoms. And, of course, I take RPF. This is a great skill for destroyers and for cruisers. It really is. Okay, so what do I think, honestly? San Diego is one of the most enjoyable light cruisers at Tier 8. She plays like a supercharged destroyer support ship, firing, fast-firing guns, utility tools, and the ability to control caps by absolutely punishing destroyers. She's not going to put some monster damage numbers up every match, but she plays the objective better than almost any other cruiser in her tier. She's not going to melt down battleships, so don't try to do that. I mean, the Musashi got me last night, but I got her with my 4 torpedoes and took her out. The Musashi one-shot at me. It's okay. But hey, and remember, she's free in Update 14.7. If you've got her already, you pick up 11,000 doubloons just for playing. If you don't, this is a perfect time to grab one of the most fun, quirky light cruisers in the game at really basically no cost. So that's my breakdown of the USS San Diego, both the real ship and her in-game counterpart. Let me know in the comments if you've been grinding for her, because I want 11,000 doubloons, or if you already had her in port. I do. If you enjoyed this video, hey, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss any more World of Warships content from yours truly. But as always, take care, stay safe, wish you all the best, and bye for now.